Okay, we're going to continue on with another video tutorial for Animate. And this time we're going to look at making a basic classic motion tween in Animate. So I am here in Animate. We need to go up and create let's do an HTML5 canvas project, okay? And let's go adjust it. I want to do, let's go with 30 frames per second. And I'm going to go for a different size this time. I'm going to go for 728 by 90. Okay, so we're going to make like a little web ad. Let me center that since the scrolling was going a little nuts. So 728 by 90. So we're going to go that route. And we're going to go back to our publish settings again. And we're going to, for the moment, we're going to turn off, excuse me, wrong one. We're going to turn off our sprite sheets. Okay, I'm going to say okay. And let's go save it. Always a good idea to do that right away. Okay, back in Adobe Animate, a new folder, and we're going to name this one, we'll name it Monterey Ad. That's my folder, and I'm going to call it Monterey Ad Project. Okay, Monterey Ad Project goes in the Monterey Ad folder. Let's save it right there. Okay, went ahead and set up my size, my frames per second, and I've got it saved where I want it to be. Okay, so everything's set up how I want it there to get started. I'm going to put a background image on here. And at the moment, I don't remember the exact coloring of it, so I may come back and change my stage color later, because I'm not remembering what colors I have exactly in here. So let's start by going to import. I'm going to import to the stage. I'm going to, oh, there's on my desktop, there was the Chico folder I was using. Here's my Monterey folder. And there's an image. So let's see, there's the cropped image. I cropped it earlier. So I'm going to open that and drop it on here. So there's a nice image for part of my page. Let's see, with that there, let's go pick a stage color now. I'm thinking something in the blue range. We'll go with that right now. That's interesting. Okay, so dropped an image on the stage, and I have set my stage color so that I've got an interesting color to go alongside the image there. So I'm happy with that. I might we'll leave that for the moment. Okay, so that's kind of the background area that I'm going to have. From here on out, I'm going to work with some text and see what we can do with that. Now, I considered just using a rectangle to put back here to fill it with some color to go across the header, but then it dawned on me a photo would look better. So you could use, I've got the rectangle tool over here, I could use it, and then we can pick whether it has a fill or a stroke or things like that. But in the end, I realized, nope, I really want to do a photo here. So that's just my static element that's sitting right there. So at that point, I think I'm going to come down here. So here is my layer 1, and that is my photo. So I'm going to name it photo, and I'm going to go lock it, okay, down here. And then I'm going to go create another layer to start working on. And this one is going to be my headline layer. So let's label it by double clicking on it there. Okay, so lower left down at the timeline, I've created another layer, and then I've locked the photo layer that sits underneath it. So at this point, I can't do anything with the photo. It's just sitting right there, all locked up. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to use the text tool. So I come over here and grab the text tool, and wait, took a second, and I'm going to come type Monterey. And at this point, I can select my font, my size, all kinds of good stuff like that. Let's play with some Gill Sans earlier. Let's see what this thing looks like in Gill Sans. A little more size to this. Something like that. Now, my color, for the moment at least, I'm going to go white on the color. And let's go grab my selector tool. See what this guy looks like up in here. Think about putting it up in the middle. At least this is where it's going to end up, somewhere up in here. I'm going to end up with something along those lines, and then they have a tag line down here that goes with a website. So a website that advertises spending your tourism dollars in Monterey. So I think we're going to stick with that one for the moment. Because I want to animate this title now, I need to convert it over to a symbol. So symbol is an element that we can use multiple times within our work. So I'm going to select the type, Monterey here. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to go down to convert to symbol. And I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it title. Now you see that it's saving it in a movie clip. That's where the animation is going to go. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. So there we go. And now I'm going to actually double click on it because I want the animation to go in here. And you see what it does when I do that right up here at the top. You see I was in the scene before, now I'm within title. So now I'm within there. Now the thing is, I actually need to do this one more time. So I'm going to control click on it again. And then I'm going to go down to convert to symbol one more time. And this actually makes the text itself be a symbol. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to call this one. I'm going to call this one title text. Okay, so that's the one that I can actually edit the text in still. I'm going to say OK. So if you go over to library, you can see them over here. Okay, there's my image from before. There's my title text. Okay, so if I were to double click on this again, you see now I'm in title text. See up here at the top. And I can double click and edit it at that point. Or in this case, I'm going to click up here back to title, and that's the point at which I am going to put the animation in. Okay, so that's the setup that I need to do with it. Now, I need to start looking down here in my timeline. Okay, so I'm on layer 1 right now. Let's come down here and call it title. So that's the layer I'm working on. And what I need to do is I need to start setting this up for the tween. So I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to right click on it. Okay, so I clicked right there. And I'm going to go up to the top right here and say create classic tween. Okay, so that's the traditional one. Gives us probably a good bit of control, or probably get a little bit more control that way. Okay, so I've done that. Now what I want to do is I actually want to move my text to its start point. Okay, so oops, I've actually accidentally let go of it. Let's go grab it again. So selecting Monterey, I'm going to drag it right off the board right there. So it's just barely off because I wanted to animate into the area there. I'm also going to come over here to the properties, and I'm looking for color effect. And under style, I'm going to go to alpha. So it's 100% right now, and I'm going to turn that down to 0. So basically, as it animates in, it will not just move to the new location, but it will also fade in. Okay, so that's my intent with it right there. So now I need to pick the next point on my timeline. So I'm doing 30 frames per second. I was thinking about going to 30, but that's only 1 second. I'm thinking that's a little fast, so I'm going to go out to 45, give it a second and a half. Okay, it's going to come to that point right here, 45. I'm going to right click on that, and I am going to go insert a keyframe right there. Okay, so make sure that you insert the keyframe. Now I'm working at this point right here at the 45, so I need to go back and get that type that's off the stage there, drag it back over here into the middle, roughly right there, and change my alpha back to 100%. Okay, so that's my end point. So on my timeline here at 1, I'm setting the beginning point over here off the board, and then at 45, I'm setting its new point here where I want it to be in the middle. Okay, so let's go up and let's do a quick save. And I can come down to the timeline here and notice I've got play and rewind. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and then hit the play button, and I can see it move in. Okay, so I can check that a couple different times. That's great. I can also come up and let's go to control and let's say test. And it's going to bring it up in the browser. So now I can see what it's looking like in the browser. Now, one of the things we definitely notice is that it is just repeating over and over again. So we need to fix that. I'm also thinking about adding some easing to it because I don't like just how it stops immediately. So let's close that. Let's go back over here again. Okay, so let's see. The one other thing I want to do, let's go click on here. And let's go find our easing. To get to it, I need to look down. So right now, while I have Monterey selected and working title, I have some property. But tweening is easing is a function of my timeline. So I'm going to come down to the timeline. I'm going to click at the start point. You can see. And now that I've selected that, timeline. And now, when I look over here under property, tweening right here, and there's ease. So I can change this one. So I could do a -100 and give it in. It starts off slow and then builds up. Or I go the other way, which is the way I think I want to go. I'm going to go to 100. Eases out. Go back to play. Slides in and then it slows down as it reaches its ending point. Okay, so that's the one I want to go with. So play with it. See exactly how you want it to go. So I want to do that, and of course you could go preview that. I'm just going to click save though myself. Let's see. The one other thing we needed to address is the fact that it's looping endlessly. So we actually need to add an action to it so it only slides in once. Keep replaying that way. So to do that, I need to come back down to my timeline here. So there's my title. And I need to add a layer. So I'm going to come down to it. Might as well go to the title. Well, no, leave it alone. I'm going to go to the second one. I'm going to rename it and call it Actions. My Actions layer now. And then I'm going to come out here to the end point where the 45 is. And I'm going to right click there. I need to insert a keyframe. Okay. And then I need to do one more. I need to right click and go get actions. Okay. So now that I've got action, there we go. Up for me. And with it, I'm going to go pick code snippet to put in place here. Right spot. There we go. Make sure I had that clicked. Now I've got a place to put this in place here. So come right up here. You see the little brackets that make you think of code. It says code snippets when you hover. Click on that. I'm working in HTML5 canvas, so I open that one. And we're working on timeline navigation, so I open that one. And then you notice right at the top it says stop at this frame. So I'm going to double click that. Okay, so this is the JavaScript that it's going to use to tell it to stop the animation at that point. So this dot stop. So that's the code. It does give you a comment up here above it. Be in there. So we go ahead and take that out as well. Of course. So now, for the moment, let's just move this out of the way. Back over. And oops, it's not going to show me anything in here, is it? That worked. Let's instead come up here, say save, test, comes in, and it stops. Okay, so now you see the ease. You also see that obviously it stops after coming in just once. Okay, so we fixed those couple little problems. So this is looking okay. Frankly, it needs a couple more things. It's those two elements on their own are not doing it. We could stop right here, but I think we should add just a couple more. So let's see. Let's do, we've got the title on. I think we need to go back scene one. Okay. And we need to, we've got our headline down here. Let's give ourselves another layer. Okay, we might as well lock our headline. And on this one, I think we're going to do another piece of, let's see, this one to say tagline. Our text tool, click, and I've forgotten the tagline, but I had their site. It is grab life by the moment. So let's just use by the moments. What do you go? Okay, so a sentence. Obviously too big over here. 16. Another piece of type in here. And now I can just start repeating the process I was going for before if I want to animate this one in. I was kind of thinking about letting this one animate in from below. So we could just kind of work our way through there. So I can right click here, convert it to a symbol, call it tagline. Okay, there's my tagline. You can see I have my tagline now. Go one more time, convert to symbol, and make this one be tagline text. Okay, so that's the point. I can still edit my text if I want to. So make sure I have my tagline selected. And what I really want to do is start this animation after the first one is running. So making sure I have that selected, I'm going to come down to my timeline. And instead of starting at 1, the first animation runs from 1 to 45. I want this one to start at 30. So I'm going to drag this out to 30 in my timeline. So that's going to end up being the starting point on my animation here. Okay, so with that in place, I need to right click on here and create a class in Tween. Okay, so I'm starting the Tween. And then I need to come select that type and move it to its start point. Okay, so I just need to move it off like that. Then I need to pick the ending point in the timeline. So I could go for 45, which is when the other one's ending, and it would start later and move faster. Or let's go on out to 60, give it a full second. And so we'll have it take longer. It'll finish after the first one has completed, okay? So I'm going to come out here to 60, and I'm going to right click, and I am going to insert a keyframe at that point, okay? And then at that point, I need to come to my type and slide it up to my end point, okay? So it is animating between 30 and 60. So that's going to be the timing that it uses. And let's see, don't want to do anything else to that one. I think let's go back to the 30 point and let's give it some ease. Let's give it the same amount of ease I used before, just for the fun of it. So we can play that. See that one roll in like that. Okay. So watch that one slide in. Okay, I like how that's looking. Let's go to a save real quick, and just for the fun of it, let's go do a test. That one rolls in, and the second one rolls in. Now, of course, my second one is continually looping, which is definitely not what I want it to do. So we got to go put a stop to that. So back over here again, if you remember that, back to my timeline, go to my end point down here, and I need to come in here. Oh, nope, need another layer, so that's that layer. Add a layer here. This one is going to be actions. Okay. And I come out to the 60 point again. I right click, I insert a keyframe right there. Then I right click and I give it actions right there. Okay, let's make sure I have that selected. Come up here, find my code snippets. I'm moving a little fast, but this should be reviewed at this point. HTML5 canvas, timeline navigation, stop at this frame. Very good. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to pull the comments out again. Okay, so let's make sure we go do a save. And let's go do a test. That one rolls in, that one rolls in, it stops. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I do kind of think my lower type should scooch up a little closer to the upper one. Now I'm questioning my font choice on Monterey. I might go modify that. I'm not sure I like Gill Sans on all of that. And frankly, there needs to be a web address in here somewhere, so I'd probably try and tie it in over here in the photo area somewhere. But hopefully you're getting the idea. So anyway, this has been the approach that we would take to do basic classic motion tween while using Animate CC.